there's reports that the potential pipe bomber during the January 6th, quote unquote, supposed insurrection against the government, which I think we all know is pretty bogus. Well, if you actually pay attention, you know it's bogus. All the Second Amendment gun enthusiasts showed up to overthrow the government without their guns, which doesn't make sense. But there's reports now that this person of interest here, this pipe bomber, is actually a DC police officer, and she is now working at the CIA. But let's look at it. So the report came out, and I mean it's not clear, but they used gait analysis to look at some, and gait is basically like your stride, like the way you walk. And this isn't new technology. I mean, China's been using it for years in their police state. They use all sorts of cameras and technology to know who anybody is, anybody that's a potential threat. China's been using this. Now we are, so that's great that we have all these cameras all over our cities, so that way the government can have a authoritarian police state to rule over us. But the FBI released some new footage, and gait analysis technology has identified it as this former Capitol police officer, Shawnee Ray Kirkhoff, 31, says appears to be a forensic match to the gait of the pipe bomb suspect. A forensic gait analysis arranged by Blaze News rated Kirkhoff's stride as 94% match to the individual shown on video planting pipe bombs on the night of January 5th, 2021. And one of the tech guys or somebody that analyzed this footage, they said it's actually closer to a 98% match. But here we say Thomas Massey believes the FBI has been engaged in a cover-up or has been grossly incompetent. Either way, Massey told Blaze News in a statement, these latest revelations about the pipe bomb investigation require answers from the new FBI director. I wouldn't hold my breath that Aziz Ansari on steroids is going to be able to do much about it. Oh, I mean, Kash Patel. I mean, does anybody else think the guy looks like Aziz Ansari on steroids? I mean, the guy's a goofball. Everything that's happened with the Charlie Kirk case and just I didn't know much about the guy. I guess he had a big internet presence and was doing podcasts and everything before Trump came in, but I didn't know much about him. And I remember when I was trying to be optimistic about Donald Trump's administration early on, I was like, oh, who's this Kash Patel guy? I don't know much about him. And, I was trying to be optimistic. And then the guy's just been a complete goofball. Him, Pam Bondi, Bongino, all these people that were supposedly going to come in and blow the lid off Epstein and expose all this corruption and everything else. And they've gotten in line. They're doing everything that they're supposed to do. Don't look here. So this is really interesting. And for anybody that's been paying attention, there was potentially upwards of 250 police officers and other FBI agents that were actually in the crowd, kind of acting as instigators at that incident. The Capitol Police led a bunch of the people into the building. It's not the way that it's portrayed. The way that a lot of people think everything that went down on January 6th. And I'm not saying that there weren't people there that were probably acting like idiots, okay? Anytime you get a group of people, there's always going to be the ones that show up and don't know how to behave. They get too loud. They might break something or do something stupid. I'm sure there's a handful of people that were there doing that. But the way that the mainstream media, especially on the left, tries to portray the actions that happened on January 6th, they're blown way out of proportion. They are not accurate at all. And see, the people on the left, they want to buy into that narrative so bad. And it's just not accurate. It's not accurate. And the sooner you realize that this was all a huge Psy-Op, it was just the political theater of it. Because, see, this was supposed to make Trump and them look bad. But, see, Trump's in on it. It's just the optics. It's a way of controlling the optics to make sure that you keep your left and right sides going at each other and giving them things to fight about. While at the top, they all screw us over.